Welcome to the tutorial for 6-6 into the Death Star. This is the final level in episode 6 and one of the trickiest levels in the entire run. We have marked this level with a difficulty rating of 7 and an RNG rating of 9. While goal times can be useful for every level, the large variance in this one due to RNG will make learning and practicing it a bit more complicated than the average level. The largest source of variance within this level appears in the very first room, which comprises the majority of the RNG. In this room, you need to collect 8 torpedoes to progress, which are attained by killing TIE fighters. Each TIE fighter has a random chance of spawning with a torpedo to drop on death. Our primary goal in this room will be to minimize the amount of time killing ships. This is why Tractor Beam is helpful, as you will spend less time chasing ships down. Let's begin. Call in Player 2 during the opening cutscene of the level before it starts. If Player 2 is on controller, you must wait until the cutscene ends to call them in. Note that Tractor Beam will stun any enemy ships that get near you, making it much easier for you to kill torpedo ships. The main goal here is to kill every ship you see, with an emphasis on picking up torpedoes when you see them. Also note that it is important to not chase ships. Almost every ship will eventually come back to you, and chasing them brings you far away from the Star Destroyers. If needed, take your time to kill more regular ships while you wait for the torpedo ones to return. There is a more advanced technique in this section as well. It is possible to get a torpedo dupe if you place both players in just the right spot, such that they grab the same torpedo on the same frame. While this may sound frame perfect, it's actually not. The easiest way to accomplish this is to have both players on top of a torpedo when it becomes active and able to be picked up. This is why it's most easily attainable at the very start of the level. An important tip to keep in mind is that you can be quite far away from the torpedo targets and still have them hit, as is shown clearly in this clip of the room in freeplay. The most important thing to remember is that keeping your ships close together and slowing them down will allow for a higher degree of control over both players. Going too fast is a common pitfall with newer runners, so take care to avoid that when possible. As you collect torpedoes on both players, progress through the 4 Star Destroyers, shooting with each player once they have targeted the correct side of the ship. Once you are done, have player 1 slowly move over to this power-up and collect it. Getting torpedoes while waiting the 10 seconds for the Metro to start will also save some time in the next room. In the first stretch of this room, you may shoot or run into these pillars and objects, but there is one that will explode and kill either your player 2 or both of your players if you did not get the power-up. This can be avoided by simply going around it without shooting. Be sure to take a tight line around this corner and this corner, and hug the left side of the room as you approach the torpedo dispenser. You will need 4 torpedoes to proceed, but should aim for a full set of 6. If you were able to get 2 on each ship in the first room, then you can just fly over the dispenser and pick 2 more up. If you got at least 1 on each ship, you can fly over it and slow down, so as to pick up 2 on each ship as you pass. If you got only 1 or no torpedoes, slow down and immediately flip as you pass the dispenser, picking up either 5 or 6. As you proceed to the next section, take care to avoid damage on your players when possible. If necessary, sometimes a set of hearts will spawn in the middle of the room. Once you are near the mouth of the hallway, spread both players apart, keeping 1 against each wall. At around this mark, you can shoot your first set of torpedoes. You do not need to wait for them to target, since moving forward will target them while the torpedoes are in motion. Don't move on either ship while you wait for the torpedoes to hit, and once the targets have switched to the other set, shoot your next 2 torpedoes. Move right towards the next torpedo dispenser. Once again, you will need both players to have 3 torpedoes, so approach the dispenser from an angle where you can backflip. In the case that you enter this room with 0 torpedoes instead of 1 on either player, you can do a 360 on top of the dispenser before you backflip to gain an extra torpedo. Continue through the room, holding attack to destroy incoming enemy ships. Additionally, you can barrel roll with your ships to avoid shots. The TIE fighters will only target player 1, so you should only be rolling with that player. As you approach the next set of targets, keep your players in the center of the hallway. At this point in the room, turn your players outwards to face the walls. Align your players so that they are facing directly away from the missile turrets. Ensure that both turrets are being targeted, and fire a torpedo with both players at once. Get ready to enter the core as the torpedoes are making their way to the targets. If you blank on one, the best backup is to ensure you are facing directly away from the turret and fire your torpedo. If the hatch is not reopening, make sure you go far enough away from it before coming back into its proximity. The core is a very difficult room and will be broken up by player level. Let's begin with the beginner method. When the camera pan ends, hold up and then right, curving around to the right while attacking with both player 1 and player 2. This should clear the first 2 targets. Drop out player 2 and head to the right to shoot the next target. It is very important to note that if you are too close to the targets, they will stun you, so you may need to let your ship drift next to the targets and give them time to open. After the right target is shot, head to the third target on the left and spam shots, killing any TIE fighters near you. Continue on to the fourth and fifth targets, keeping this distance away from the panels. After they are all broken, the core is now breakable. However, for beginners, we recommend that you make sure you shoot the 2 targets on the left first, grabbing the red brick to be safe. Many runs have been killed by missing this red brick, so try to avoid that mistake early. Let's discuss how advanced players should play this room. Hold attack with both players and traverse the outside of the room to the left. Player 1 will shoot the targets while player 2 will open the targets ahead. Keep moving down with both players and shoot one of the torpedo targets covering the IT brick with player 2. After this, player 2 will come down to open the bottom right target and move to the core, while player 1 will follow behind and break the final target. As soon as you break the last target, move towards the core with player 1 so both players can attempt to break it. Once it is broken, fire a torpedo with player 1. Finally, grab the IT brick. If you only shot one torpedo earlier, break the other torpedo target while facing away from it at an angle between 90 and 180 degrees. Note that there is an essential backup if you don't have enough torpedoes to get the red brick and shoot the core. You may play the start of the room as normal, then shoot as many torpedoes as you can at the red brick. Head to the center and wait for torpedoes to spawn from the core. These randomly spawned torpedoes will shoot out in a random direction and may be difficult to grab quickly. The last section of this level is essentially an auto-scroller. Hold down and attack on both players, and to optimize your lines, hug the wall when a bend in the hallway is coming up. Note that your split time will be optimally just under 1 minute and 34 seconds from when you exit the core. This concludes the Into the Death Star tutorial.